So when you walk back in here after a year and you see that, what does that mean now?
I think at its core, it just reminds me about the kind of movement that the Lord started a year ago.
It's true north. Holiness unto the Lord is true north for the Christian faith.
The phrase is the focal point of Hughes Auditorium, but on February 8th, 2023, Hughes Auditorium became the focal point of the entire world.
This was just a service where people lingered. Right around early to mid-afternoon that day, February 8th, I knew that this was different.
I remember just being in here and first wanting to tell all my friends who weren't in Hughes. I don't really fully understand how to explain it to you, but there's something special going on and we need to keep telling people about it.
Thousands of people traveled to a town that typically only holds a fraction of that number to kneel at the altar and see the unusual sight that could only be described by, as Professor Rob Lim says, an awakening.
There was a resurgence amongst youth and young adults, not simply based in Kentucky, but globally, recognizing that all of the turmoil that they're seeing around the world today, that there is a faith that seems to provide answers to that.
1 year later, Hughes is empty. Things are normal again, but the impact still lingers on. Would you say that it's changed the atmosphere here?
100% it's changed the atmosphere.
It's only history now. It may have started in the tiny town of Wellmore, Kentucky, but managed to make a mark on the Christian faith forever.
The difference this year is just so marked from where we were prior to the outpouring, and we're living with gratitude for that.
Most of us know her as the Lieutenant Governor. The mother of four once held the title of player, teacher, and coach. But for her daughter Emma, she has a different name, JC.
We don't like to say we're similar, but we're very similar.
The two met in the halls of East Jessamine High School Emma's freshman year. Emma was looking for a basketball schedule, but gained a lifeline.
From the time she took that schedule from me, the next time I saw her was when she called me and told me that she didn't have anywhere to go. That was the second time I'd ever seen her.
I called that number. Hey, I have to move back to my mom. I don't really want to go there, but I have to go there. It was a cry for help without realizing it.
Duffel bag in hand, she went to live with Coach Coleman and never left, expanding their relationship beyond the court, even though it wasn't always easy.
But I feel like that season for me was a season where I learned how to keep my mouth shut.
Every day I would just point to the sideline and she'd run a little bit and she'd come back over, and I just thought, well, at least if she's hard-headed, she's going to be in better shape than everybody else.
Through lots of tough love, Emma made a change for herself.
She broke every basketball record, boys and girls, in school's history. And in becoming the first person in her biological family to graduate from high school, and she graduated with honors. This kid couldn't read as a freshman in high school.
Emma even decided to change her last name to match her little sister. But the biggest change of all was the mark she made on the Lieutenant Governor and her family.
People always, when they hear this story, they think, oh my gosh, you changed her life. And I'm like, well, she changed mine.
In Frankfort, I'm Lucy Cole, WKYT. Important case information. A statue she's had for decades. And photos facing toward her, not away from her.
I'll look up and I'll see my mother-in-law and I'll just stop and reflect.
Those are the decorations on the historic desk of Kentucky's first black female Supreme Court Justice, Pamela Goodwine.
Fulfilling a 45-year dream. Talk about a phenomenal feeling.
On the heels of her father's cancer diagnosis, she came to Lexington as a court reporter, forfeiting college scholarships to take care of her father.
I was here 6 months when my mother was murdered. So that, shortly after my father's death, one thing after another,
Grief consumed her, but one dream never left her mind.
I mean, I just boldly looked at them and said, I want to be a justice on the Kentucky Supreme Court. And they just looked at me like,
She's made history before on the district bench, crediting her mother's murder trial for lessons she'd take with her.
the experiences that I believe that I can bring to the position now, thinking about how decisions affect not only the person standing before me, but also their families.
In November of 2024, the ultimate dream, a title switch from judge to justice, something that was only a dream when she came to the city the fall after her father died.
When I think about how I felt that November day to how I felt in November of 2024, I was in awe.
A recent upgrade sporting her new title was made to her office door. For Justice Goodwine, seeing it makes it real, a reminder of her father.
I just kept seeing my daddy's face and his teaching that there are no excuses. People say, now what? Now what are you going to do? My dream now, again, is to just be and continue to be the best that I can be.
The zinnia has been called the hardest working flower. Known to withstand tough conditions and bloom anyways.
And they're very beautiful and they're very colorful. And I think cancer patients are too.
Sarah Lister, the woman with the red cart in UK's Markey Cancer Centre, carries precious cargo.
It's not teddy bears, it's not flowers, it's not that kind of a gift basket.
It's a basket with supplies that those undergoing cancer treatment really need. Curated by someone who really gets it.
The doctors discovered very quickly that I had acute myeloid leukemia. I was not allowed to see my kids for the entire time that I was in the hospital. They were 3 and 8. They were tiny and they needed their mom.
Multiple rounds of chemo, weeks of treatment, a bone marrow transplant, and 127 total days in the hospital were the source of her inspiration. But after all of that time in the hospital, she still goes back, this time a little bit more discreet.
The Zinnia Project is basically anonymous. The letter just says, this is coming from a patient who understands your situation right now.
For Sarah, it's a gift to get to walk out of these doors every day. But a piece of her now stays with those who can't.
Women's superpower is empathy. And the Zinnia Project has grown out of empathy.
Under the water tower at Cecil's Weifel Field, everyone knows his name.
I just wish I had 40 more Caden Dougals a part of our team.
Captain of the baseball team, number 2, and now all-time home run record holder for Asbury University.
Mustangs on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Adding to the long list of titles is Coach Dougal, the elementary school teacher.
I usually wake up, get ready for school. I have 5th grade specials, 3rd grade specials, and then I get up, get my baseball clothes on, head up to the field.
He's living a sort of double life behind the scenes.
A lot of them didn't really know until recently, because obviously our season isn't until the spring. A lot of them think it's pretty cool.
A life head coach Manny Cervantes says is admirable.
There have been some late nights, early mornings. As strong as his bat is, I think what's stronger is his heart.
It's also a life that he uses to enrich his own students.
I talk to them a lot about handling your business, like in the classroom and like at home, everywhere.
While he's keeping the calendar full, he tells me staying present is the most important part. He knows it's not what you win, but who you take with you.
The records, the averages and stuff are all cool and stuff, but like nobody's gonna care about any of that stuff in a few years. The relationships I get to build with my teammates, coaches, even like my students coming to the games, I think those are the things I'm gonna remember.
On and off the baseball field. In Jessamine County, I'm Lucy Cole with WKYT. Caroline Nagel lives life much like her peers, navigating her 20s, spending time with friends, and surviving college. But in the moments when eyes might not be on her, she has a few extra steps in her daily routine. Almost 1 decade ago, she got the diagnosis.
I started having symptoms probably a month before actually going to the hospital, which the symptoms I was having were pretty clearly symptoms of diabetes. Obviously, I know that now. I remember going to my mom, I was like, I'm in pain, it hurts. And she's like, what hurts? I said, everything hurts. After I got back from the hospital, I talked to my brothers, and they were like, we thought like you were dying.
As a child, her restrictions seemed daunting.
The doctor was like, you basically can't have sugar, cake, soda, whatever ever again. So as an 11-year-old, you hear that and you're like, wait, what?
But almost 10 years later, she's learned how to manage.
You can live your normal life, eat whatever, as long as you just manage it and take the insulin that you need to take.
Through the help of modern medicine, Caroline can operate just like the rest of us at the click of a button.
This is connected to my pump. I put my amount of carbs that I'm going to eat and calculate how many units I'm going to take.
Taking a lifelong diagnosis that marks her life forever and looking at the glass half full.
It in some ways can be a superpower because I don't see it as a limitation, and I can see that I can do everything that everybody else does.
In Lexington, I'm Lucy Cole, WKYT. The life of a Lexington firefighter and 2 11-year-old girls often looks different, but occasionally paths cross. In this case, it's when the Cotton-Eyed Joe turns on.
While we were getting our order, they started doing the dance in the middle of the store, and you know, it's not a huge location. I was like, if you all want to do it right outside where we can like see you right there, then you guys can do it right there. And then I look up and see 3 firefighters.
2 adorable young ladies were out front asking if they could dance for us, which we obliged, and then they inquired if they could teach us the dance.
It was the end of another stressful shift. They wanted to finish it off with a scoop or 2 of ice cream. They left with some new dance moves.
As my wife put it when she saw the video, that right there, that's 3 proud girl dads.
We just went outside and danced, and we were showing them.
After these firefighters learned and perfected the dance, they went inside and placed their own order for ice cream. But they got a call while they were waiting for it, so they had to leave it sitting on the counter. But these families didn't want them to go empty-handed.
It made me so sad. So then as they're going out the door, I was like, I started trying to think fast. I was like, what station are you guys at? So then they told us which fire station they were at.
A doorbell rang, and there was a DoorDash driver with 3 buckets of ice cream for us.
Ariana and Natalie say dancing is what they do best, along with laughing together and, of course, getting Baskin-Robbins. Their jobs may not be as intense as saving lives, but the intentions behind them are all the same. In Lexington, I'm Lucy Bryson, WKYT.